Every breath, every movement is a declaration of war between hunter and hunted. Where nature rules with a ruthless law, only instinct decides who will survive until dawn. As dawn breaks, the entire Serengeti seems to hold its breath. A pale, golden light spreads across the endless plains, as soft as a vow to the earth. The wild awakens under the first rays of Sunday, the dew settles and glitters. The shadows of trees and the herds of animals begin to stir, transitioning into life as darkness gives way to day. Here, an ancient cycle begins anew, and in this world of beginnings, there is one creature that rises above all. It is the lion, the lord of the savannah. Its authority lies in family. Its strength is forged in cooperation. Its presence is a quiet majesty that silences the entire plain. This is the kingdom of the lion, a world where courage is measured not just in battles, but in protection. Where the young learn by watching and standing together. A pride is not just a collection of lions, it is a structured, resilient society, bound by unwritten rules that determine survival and legacy. At the heart of the pride are the lionesses, sisters, mothers, and tireless hunters. They are the architects of this world. Together, they weave a network of cooperation, a living tapestry of kinship and instinct. A successful hunt is not the victory of one, but of all. A newborn cub is not the sole responsibility of its mother, but the child of the entire pride. The lionesses take turns nursing, protecting, and teaching each other's young. For the cubs, life begins as a game. They play and engage in mock battles, honing the skills they will one day need. But on the savannah, no feast lasts forever. Tomorrow, the struggle begins again. The guardians of the pride, the males, their presence is everything. Their massive build and thundering roars are the living walls against danger. But power on the savannah is never permanent. For every ruler, there is always a challenger. Young, exiled males wander the wilderness, growing stronger and hungry to claim a legacy of their own. And when they arrive, the savannah trembles. The night echoes with the sounds of chaos, deep roars. Answering roars, a clash of voices that shakes the air. Even the rulers must face their rivals. In the darkness, the hyenas lurk, intelligent and relentless. They wait for their moment when the lions are tired from the hunt. Alone, a hyena is no threat. But together, they are a wave of sharp teeth and persistence, capable of stealing the hard-won prize of an entire pride. Above, the vultures circle endlessly. Patient scavengers, they wait for weakness, for death, for an opportunity. Their watchful eyes remind the lions that even in victory, they are never truly alone. But perhaps the most dangerous rival is not a scavenger. The African buffalo, immense, unpredictable, and armed with horns as sharp as spears, can turn a predator into prey in an instant. Across the Golden Plains, the African buffalo move in great herds. For the lions, they are both a prize and a peril, a source of life that demands every ounce of skill and courage. The pride watches from a distance, muscles tensed, eyes fixed. The buffalo is no ordinary prey. Its horns can pierce flesh, its charge can crush bone. The battle is a chaotic mess, a clash of predator and prey where every second counts. The lions must work together, herding the buffalo, separating a weaker member, and striking with finality. On the harsh African savanna, the spotted hyena has evolved to become one of the most formidable carnivores. With an origin of over 10 million years, they have followed a unique evolutionary path. Born to survive, the spotted hyena possesses a muscular frame adapted for endurance and strength. Its characteristic sloping gait is a significant advantage, allowing it to move easily over rugged terrain. The African savanna is the primary habitat of the spotted hyena. From the open grasslands of East Africa to the semi-arid regions of the Kalahari Desert in Botswana. According to a 2023 IUCN report, the global spotted hyena population is estimated to be between 27,000 and 47,000 individuals. The spotted hyena thrives not just on physical strength, but also on its incredibly complex social structure. They live in large, matriarchal clans that can number over 100 individuals. In the darkness of the savanna, the laugh of the hyena is not a sound of chaos. This infamous laughter is no chorus of chaos. It is a living social map, drawn in sound. Each voice is a unique signature, known and placed within the clan's intricate hierarchy. It is a language of identity and location, a way to summon an army or to declare one's place in a brutal yet ordered world. At the top of their social hierarchy is an alpha female who holds absolute power. This matriarchal structure is not just a social hierarchy, but a survival strategy perfected over millions of years. Spotted hyenas are not just scavengers. They are intelligent, strategic hunters, capable of taking down large prey. Their cooperative abilities and communication skills rival those of some primates. Despite their evolutionary success, spotted hyenas still face threats from habitat loss and conflict with humans. Amidst this scarcity, lions emerge as the apex predators. Their golden coats blend perfectly with the sun-scorched grasslands, providing a flawless camouflage. The male lion, with its thick and majestic mane, is not just a symbol of dominance, but also a crucial protection in fierce confrontations. Weighing from 330 to 550 pounds and up to 10 feet long, the lion possesses both strength and agility. Unlike most solitary great cats, lions form tight-knit groups called prides. A typical pride consists of 3 to 30 individuals, with the lionesses taking the lead in hunting. In the dry season, dwindling water sources force wildebeest, zebra, and buffalo to migrate. To adapt, lions expand their hunting territories, sometimes covering up to 100 square miles. As darkness falls over the African savanna, the lions begin their hunt. The night provides a crucial advantage, shielding them from the heat of the day. Hunting in a pride, lions use sophisticated tactics. Some lionesses are tasked with herding the prey into an ambush, where others lie in wait to attack. The division of food follows a ruthless hierarchy. The dominant males will assert their authority and eat first. However, the males play a vital role in protecting the entire pride. In the struggle for food, lions often have the upper hand against hyenas. Studies show that about 60% of conflicts involve lions stealing food from hyenas. However, when the number of hyenas is large, the balance of power can shift. A clan of 15 to 20 hyenas can overwhelm even a strong pride of lions. The fierce competition between lions and hyenas is an integral part of maintaining the ecosystem's balance. Their rivalry ensures that only the most skilled and adaptable can survive. In Kafue National Park, the Southeast African cheetah is one of the planet's most formidable predators. Capable of reaching speeds exceeding 60 miles per hour, it holds the title of the world's fastest land mammal. The cheetah has a deep evolutionary lineage dating back over 2.5 million years as one of the most common subspecies. They claim the grasslands and savannas of sub-Saharan Africa as their domain. The cheetah's body is a masterpiece of creation. A slender frame, long limbs, and semi-retractable claws maximize speed and grip. Unlike most felines that hunt in the shadows, the cheetah is diurnal. They hunt during the golden hours, early morning and late afternoon, to avoid confrontations with larger predators. However, with its speed, success is never guaranteed. The cheetah's hunting success rate is only 50%. The hunt is a test of both speed and endurance. Using the tall grasses as cover, the cheetah silently stalks until it is within striking range. Then, with a spectacular burst of acceleration, it launches into the chase, reaching its top speed in under 3 seconds. The cheetah's incredible speed comes not just from its legs. For the cheetah, speed is a form of flight. In every stride, there is a moment of suspension, a heartbeat where it untethers itself from the earth. The spine is not bone, but a living bow, coiled and released, launching the hunter across the savanna not by running, but by flying low against the ground. It is not merely running. It is performing a series of controlled leaps, almost flying low over the ground to catch its prey, turning every hunt into a spectacular athletic display. As it closes in, agility becomes its greatest weapon. A swift swipe of a paw, followed by a precise bite to the throat, ends the pursuit. But the struggle is not over. The exertion of such an explosive movement pushes the cheetah's body to its thermal limits. It cannot eat immediately, but needs 5 to 10 minutes to cool down. Unlike the lion that dominates with brute force, or the hyena that survives by persistence, the cheetah has only one ace up its sleeve: speed. It must eat quickly, but even then, it is highly vulnerable. Meanwhile, in South Luangwa, the Thornycroft's giraffe is a symbol of the region's ecological uniqueness. Geographically isolated, this subspecies has evolved over millennia. The Thornycroft's giraffe is striking, tall and graceful, with a long, elegant neck and a coat adorned with irregular dark brown patches. Each individual has a unique pattern, as recognizable as a fingerprint. When threatened, it acts as a sentinel. Its raised head is a living beacon of warning. And if danger approaches, it can deliver a kick powerful enough to repel even a lion. Beneath the sparse canopy of the Miombo woodland, a silent figure glides. Its golden, spotted coat blends effortlessly with the dappled light. This is the leopard, a master of stealth. Across the savannas of Zambia, the leopard roams elusive territories, rarely seen. Its numbers remain modest, with only 1 to 3 individuals per 100 square kilometers. Among the towering Miombo trees, the leopard moves with grace and purpose. Every movement is calculated, every step a whisper. "50 yards away, a lone impala strays. The leopard lowers itself, hiding like a shadow. It begins its approach. The distance between them narrows. At just 10 yards, its body tenses. Then, in an explosion of muscle and force, the leopard lunges forward, reaching speeds of up to 36 miles per hour. The struggle is brief, but in the wild, a successful hunt is just the beginning. Other predators are lurking, ready to steal what they did not earn themselves. The leopard, with incredible strength, drags its prey up a tree, far beyond the reach of lions and hyenas. Hidden in the canopy, it enjoys its prize in peace. Great in stature and unmatched in power, the lion reigns not just by brute force. An adult male can be up to 11 feet long and weigh up to 550 pounds. Lions hunt in prides. Synchronized and silent, they stalk through the tall grass. Then, with an explosive force, they attack, charging at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. But the hunt is rarely the end. It invites competition. Opportunistic scavengers, the spotted hyenas, arrive in hopes of stealing a meal. Across the vast plains, tens of thousands of blue wildebeest stir, continuing an ancient journey. Their migration is one of nature's greatest spectacles. Born for endurance, the blue wildebeest is a creature sculpted by evolution. Both males and females have curved, sturdy horns, tools for defense and displays of status. At birth, the calves are a yellowish brown, blending in with the dry grass. But after just 2 months, their coats turn a steely blue-gray. They are most active at dawn and dusk. And when threatened, they can reach speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. But speed alone is not always a shield. Faced with danger, the herd bunches together, an ancient alarm signal. The African buffalo, one of the most formidable herbivores, is also one of the most hunted. Its horns are a shield against the lion, its strength a bastion for the herd. But against its most modern predator, these ancient defenses are rendered meaningless. Standing up to 5.6 feet tall, an adult male can weigh up to 1,600 pounds. Their strength is legendary. With a massive build and an unyielding will to protect, the African buffalo is the continent's most powerful grazer. Their thick, dark coats protect them from the sun, but their survival depends on water. Buffalo rarely stray more than 10 miles from rivers or swamps. But it is their uncompromising herd defense that truly sets them apart. When threatened, the herd closes ranks, the calves are pushed to the center, while the adults form a wall of muscle and horn. In the murky waters of the Zambezi River, a massive predator hides in absolute silence. This is the Nile crocodile, Africa's largest crocodile. Unlike many reptiles, the Nile crocodile does not need to hunt daily. Its efficient digestive system allows it to survive for weeks without food. The Lower Zambezi National Park is one of its strongest bastions. Here, these silent hunters rely not only on immense power, but also on extraordinary patience. A crocodile can lie motionless for hours, even days, waiting for the perfect moment. When unsuspecting prey approaches the water's edge, there is no warning. Instantly, the water erupts with a violent splash. As the crocodile lunges, its jaws clamp down, dragging the victim into the water. Resistance is futile. With a bite force of 22,000 newtons, the crocodile's power is unmatched. Often called the jewel of Namibia, Etosha National Park is home to 4 of Africa's Big Five. Elephant, lion, leopard, and the critically endangered black rhino. In 2024, Namibia suffered its most severe drought in over a century. Across Etosha, the waterholes vanished. Hippos were trapped in the drying mud. By early 2025, the rains returned, bringing with them a rebirth. The grasslands burst into life. Giraffes and rare species like the black-faced impala seized the opportunity to graze. From May to October, the dry season envelops the park in a harsh heat. Daytime temperatures often soar from 95 to 118 degrees Fahrenheit. The natural water sources all but disappear. As water becomes scarce, the herbivores are forced to congregate at the remaining oases. Their presence attracts the predators, turning these waterholes into unwilling battlegrounds. The black rhino, with its powerful build, stands up to 5 feet tall and weighs around 3,000 pounds. This formidable creature bears 2 constantly growing horns, essential tools for defense. Despite its name, The black rhino's skin is actually a grayish-brown. It uses its pointed, prehensile upper lip to grasp tender leaves and pull them from thorny bushes. It can survive for several days without drinking directly, deriving most of its moisture from the vegetation it consumes, an essential adaptation in this arid environment. Though it has very poor eyesight, the black rhino lives in a rich world woven from scent. For an animal that walks in solitude, communication is written upon the land itself. These are not mere waste piles. They are communal chronicles, a library of scents left in the dust. A story of who has passed, their strength, their intentions, their readiness to mate. It is a silent conversation, read by all who share this ancient territory. It is an invisible social network, a map of sense that helps them navigate and communicate in their solitary world. However, the dry season remains a constant challenge. Man-made waterholes like the one at Ocauquejo become crucial refuges, where even the normally solitary black rhino must share space. At night, under the soft glow of the floodlights, the silhouette of a black rhino emerges, its heavy body moving steadily towards the water. A territorial behavior that quietly asserts its claim. As of 2023, Namibia is home to over 2,200 black rhinos. Etosha National Park alone accounts for over 70% of this number. But with such a concentration, the risk of poaching also increases. Despite the protection of dedicated rangers, GPS tracking, drones, and even dehorning, the black rhino still faces a threat greater than nature, the insatiable greed of man. Moving alongside the herds of blue wildebeest, the plains zebras make their way to the scarce water sources. Their presence brings a vibrant rhythm to the monochromatic landscape of the dry season. The plains zebra is of medium size, standing about 4.3 feet tall and can weigh up to 770 pounds. Its characteristic black and white stripes form a unique pattern for each individual. These stripes serve multiple purposes. They help regulate body temperature and disrupt the vision of predators when the zebras move together, creating confusion. In Etosha, the plains zebra lives in social groups called harems, consisting of a dominant male, several females, and their offspring. These harems often gather to form larger herds. The plains zebra is a specialized grazer, preferring the short grasses that grow quickly after the rains. Their grazing helps regulate plant biomass, allowing new growth to flourish. Seasonal migration is a crucial survival strategy. Depending on the climatic conditions, some herds travel up to 680 miles a year in search of sustenance. As of early 2025, the wild plains zebra population was estimated at around 150,000 to 250,000 mature individuals. This number represents a decline of about 25% since the 1990s. As the herds of plains zebras gather around the shrinking waterholes, the gaze of a lion locks onto them. At Ocauquejo, predator and prey engage in a silent battle of wits. In the dry season, Ocauquejo becomes a crucial crossroads where the cycles of life converge. The predators have no choice but to approach the dwindling water sources. As the number of animals increases, so does their vigilance. The lionesses adjust their hunting strategies, shifting from pursuit to ambush, using the dry grass and mounds of earth for cover. Once within striking distance, less than 100 feet, the lionesses crouch low before exploding with a sudden burst of speed, knocking their prey to the ground. An adult lion can take down prey twice its size. Despite this, lions in the wild have a relatively low hunting success rate, only about 20 to 25%. In the scorching heat of the Namibian desert, lions conserve energy by resting up to 21 hours a day, preparing for their nocturnal hunts. A typical pride consists of related females, one or more adult males, and their offspring. The females maintain the social structure, raise the young, and do most of the hunting. The male, with his iconic thick mane and a roar that can carry up to 5 miles, uses his voice to mark territory and warn off intruders. A lion's roar is not just a simple warning. It is also a sophisticated psychological tactic. When a whole pride roars together, they are able to perfectly time and pitch their roars to create a special acoustic effect. Making intruders think that their pride is larger than it actually is. This intimidating chorus is a form of psychological warfare, a sonic barrier designed to prevent bloody confrontations before they even begin. As the morning sun illuminates the vast grasslands of Kafue National Park, a pack of African wild dogs prepares for an early hunt. For centuries, the African wild dog has perfected the art of pack hunting. The oldest fossils of this species, dating back 200,000 years, were discovered in the Kafse Cave, Israel. A distinctive feature is their specialized dentition, which is relatively larger than that of any other carnivore, designed to tear through the flesh of their prey with ease. African wild dogs live in tight-knit social groups, typically consisting of 2 to 27 individuals. These packs follow a clear hierarchy, with females often holding the dominant position. The hunting strategy of the African wild dog is a masterful blend of speed, coordination, and tactical precision. They engage in high-speed pursuits, exhausting their prey before the final kill. When attacking, they approach silently before a sudden burst of speed, reaching up to 41 miles an hour. They maintain this pace for 10 to 60 minutes. Today, the African wild dog is classified as endangered on the IUCN Red List, with only about 6,600 individuals remaining worldwide. Under the scorching sun, the ostrich strides confidently among the remaining waterholes. Though flightless, this extraordinary bird is perfectly adapted to the semi-desert landscape. Equipped with long legs and a formidable speed, the ostrich stands up to 9.2 feet tall. When threatened, a powerful kick from its muscular legs can deliver a serious blow. However, their greatest defense lies in their speed. Capable of sprinting up to 43 miles an hour, ostriches are the true long-distance runners of the savannah. In the dry season, they travel in groups of 5 to over 50, moving together between water sources in search of food and drink. As omnivores, their diet is varied. When water is scarce, they switch to a diet of moisture-rich plants, able to go for long periods without drinking. At Ocauquejo, the ostriches gather with other herbivores. It is the epicenter of a silent struggle for survival, with predators never far away. In this high-risk environment, ostriches are equipped with the largest eyes of any land animal, measuring up to 2 inches in diameter. allowing them to detect subtle movements at great distances. During the breeding season, their behavior becomes more animated. The male performs his characteristic courtship display, shaking his head, extending his neck, and kicking up clouds of dust. A single nest can contain up to 60 eggs, each weighing about 3 pounds. In the harsh conditions of Etosha, these eggs become an attractive target for many predators. Both the male and female take turns protecting the nest, enduring ground temperatures that can exceed 122 degrees Fahrenheit. The waterhole at Halali sustains a remarkable diversity of wildlife. Its dense vegetation and rugged terrain create an ideal backdrop for nocturnal predators. In this breathtaking silence, the leopard emerges, a master predator cloaked in the mantle of darkness. It moves like a whisper, its eyes locked on the slightest movement. What follows is not a chase, but a confrontation, a silent battle between instinct and survival. With males weighing from 66 to 159 pounds and females from 44 to 95 pounds, the leopard has a perfect balance of strength and agility. Their coat provides almost perfect camouflage. Under the dappled moonlight, they disappear into their surroundings, like phantoms in the dark. Leopards can live up to 17 years in the wild. In Etosha alone, their population density ranges from 0.5 to 3.8 individuals per 38.6 square miles. Solitary and primarily nocturnal, the leopard relies on ambush tactics. Instead of chasing its prey, it watches and waits, sometimes for hours. After a successful hunt, it climbs, hauling its prey high into the branches, sometimes up to 20 feet off the ground, to keep it out of reach of scavengers. The arid ground of Ocoquejo trembles under the heavy footfalls of a herd of blue wildebeest. Standing about 4 feet tall and weighing an average of 440 pounds, they possess a strong, muscular build. Despite their bulky frame, the blue wildebeest is surprisingly agile. When threatened, they can reach speeds of up to 50 miles an hour. As specialized grazers, they primarily feed on the short grasses that grow quickly after the rains. Their digestive system is fine-tuned to extract nutrients from low-quality vegetation. At Ocoquejo, the man-made waterholes provide vital lifelines during the harsh months. They often gather here in the early morning or late afternoon. By grazing regularly, the wildebeest prevent the vegetation from becoming too dense. Their feeding habits encourage the growth of new plants. Migration is one of their most important behaviors. However, this instinct is increasingly being disrupted. Man-made barriers have fragmented their habitats. A study in early 2024 warned that herds confined to smaller areas are showing signs of genetic decline. A serious threat to the species' adaptability. The sun explodes on the horizon, burning the sky with streaks of crimson and gold. Each dawn and dusk marks a battlefield where life and death perform their ceaseless dance. The land itself is a formidable opponent, but even greater dangers lurk where the migration must pass. Rivers like the Mara are not just obstacles, they are gates of death. Beneath the muddy surface, 12-foot Nile crocodiles lie in wait. With a single explosive lunge, they clamp down on their prey, dragging their victim to a watery grave. However, survival does not guarantee safety. Beyond the riverbanks, the dry grasslands stretch endlessly. An open stage where the predators reign. Lions, hyenas, and cheetahs haunt the savanna. In this battle for survival, weakness is a death sentence. Only the swift, the resilient, and the cunning can find their way through. Speed in this arena is salvation. On the open plains, where there is nowhere to hide, prey must rely on agility, reflexes, and strategy. The Thompson's gazelle, small but swift, is one of the most talented artists. When danger strikes, they dart away like living arrows, reaching speeds of 50 to 55 miles per hour. But speed is not their only weapon. They run in unpredictable zigzags, making it a struggle for even the fastest predators to keep up. Meanwhile, the zebra has perfected the art of survival. Speed is their greatest weapon. When faced with danger, they explode into spectacular sprints, reaching speeds of up to 40 miles an hour. On the savanna, lions and cheetahs lurk in the tall grass. But the zebra is not defenseless. Its keen eyesight scans the horizon, while its powerful legs are always ready to react. However, escaping danger is not just about speed, it's about strategy. The zebra has mastered the art of sudden directional changes, disrupting the predator's pursuit. A 2023 study by the Savannah Wildlife Institute found that these abrupt maneuvers can reduce a lion's hunting success rate by up to 70%. But speed alone is not enough. Endurance is the real weapon. Unlike the cheetah, the zebra possesses considerable stamina, capable of maintaining its pace over a long distance. As the sun reaches its zenith, survival on the savannah shifts from speed to endurance. Among the most resilient creatures is the wildebeest. For hundreds of thousands of years, they have evolved into the marathon runners of the wild. Their legendary stamina fuels one of nature's greatest spectacles, the Great Migration. Each year, over 1 million wildebeest embark on a perilous 1,800-mile journey in search of water and fresh pastures. This relentless migration leads them across burning plains, treacherous rivers full of crocodiles, and open terrain where lions and other predators lie in wait. But the wildebeest are more than just wanderers. They are survivors. Their true strength lies in their endurance and their herd instinct. While a cheetah can only maintain its top speed for a few hundred yards, a wildebeest can sustain a steady pace of 30 to 40 miles an hour for many miles. The longer the chase, the more the advantage shifts in their favor. Endurance is their greatest defense, but unity is their shield. The dry season on the African savanna descends like a relentless furnace. In this harsh landscape, survival is not about speed, it's about endurance. Among the masters of persistence is the Grevy's zebra, the largest of all zebra species. Its bold black and white stripes stand out against the sun-scorched plains. Unlike other grazers, the Grevy's zebra endures the heat by outlasting it. They travel over 20 miles a day in search of water. With a phenomenal memory, they retrace hidden paths to long-forgotten waterholes, a skill honed through generations of survival. But memory alone is not enough. Nature has equipped them with a highly efficient circulatory system that acts as a built-in cooling mechanism. However, the journey to water is fraught with danger. Lions and hyenas lurk near the remaining water sources, knowing that thirst will drive their prey within reach. They use the shade of acacia trees to cool their bodies and conserve energy, timing their movements to avoid the most dangerous hours. The African savanna smolders under the relentless fire of the Sunday. As the dry season drags on, every drop of water becomes a prize worth fighting for. Among the most formidable warriors of the savanna is the African buffalo, a living fortress of muscle and fury. Weighing up to 2,000 pounds, they are relentless fighters. A charge from an African buffalo is not a panicked flight, but a calculated attack. Their curved horns are weapons of war, capable of breaking bone. The predators that dare to challenge them face not only brute force, but a deadly strategy. A buffalo's charge can generate an impact force more than 3 times greater than a lion's bite. But it is not just brute strength that makes the African buffalo so dangerous. It is its intelligence and a formidable memory. They are known to remember and recognize specific enemies. Researchers and guides have documented numerous cases of buffalo showing particular animosity towards lions or safari vehicles that have previously harassed them. A failed hunt today could bring a fierce retaliation tomorrow as they actively return to attack a threat they have identified. A failed hunt today could bring a fierce retaliation tomorrow. The cheetah, the fastest cat on the planet, is a hunting machine shaped by the constant pressure of survival. Amidst the open plains of the savanna, it relies on a slender body, light muscles, and large lung capacity to reach speeds exceeding 60 miles per hour in just a few seconds. This explosive acceleration is not merely a spectacular display, it is the difference between catching prey and the hunger that threatens its entire family. Its eyes, adapted for long-distance vision in daylight, lock onto a target with almost mathematical precision. They are the markings of a specialist, the lines of focus in a world of blinding light. Not tears of sorrow, but channels of concentration, ensuring that when the moment comes, the hunter's gaze is unwavering and its aim is true. These are not for decoration. They function like natural sunglasses, absorbing sunlight and reducing glare. This allows it to maintain intense focus on moving prey without being blinded, a crucial advantage when hunting during the day. A time when most other large cats are resting. But speed comes at a price. After a chase, the cheetah is exhausted, vulnerable to stronger predators that can steal its hard-won prize. In the hunt, every movement is calculated. The cheetah selects young, weak, or unwary prey, exploiting any weakness in the cohesion of gazelle and impala herds. It moves stealthily, using the sparse savanna vegetation as cover. Once at an ideal distance, usually under 300 feet, the cheetah launches into an explosive sprint. The chase is a frantic dash, typically lasting only 20 to 60 seconds. If it fails to catch its quarry in this brief window, the cheetah's body will overheat and the hunt is lost. When successful, a fatal bite to the throat suffocates the prey, ending the struggle in seconds. However, victory does not guarantee a meal. The cheetah must devour its kill quickly before lions, hyenas, or even flocks of vultures detect the carcass and close in. The contest for food is a constant part of its reality. The species' survival also depends on reproduction. The female raises her cubs alone, protecting them in hidden lairs and moving them frequently to avoid being tracked. However, the mortality rate for cubs is very high. Lions, jackals, and birds of prey are constant threats to the defenseless young. The cheetah is both an example of supreme specialization and a testament to biological fragility. While the cheetah relies on speed in the open plains, in the wooded savanna, sheer power and cooperation reign supreme. On the bank, in the shade of the sparse trees, a herd of impala is grazing. Their slender bodies gleam a tawny gold in the morning rays. Each of their movements is like a delicate brushstroke on the savanna canvas. They make almost no sound, but that silence is fragile. Behind their grace lies constant vigilance. The impala is one of southern Africa's most graceful antelopes. It can leap 30 feet in a single bound and soar up to 10 feet high, as if the air itself lifts it from danger. These spectacular leaps are more than just a means of escape. This is more than an expression of joy. It is a conversation with death itself, a deliberate, defiant message broadcast to unseen eyes, declaring with every impossible leap, "I am vitality, I am speed, a chase would be fruitless." It is a gamble of energy, played out to prevent a gamble of life. Their primary defense is movement, swift, coordinated, and effortless. Nearby, in the dry grass, dark spots flicker. It is the guinea fowl. Like tiny medieval warriors, each seems to wear a helmet, blue-black feathers, dark eyes, a red crest, and white spots on their bodies. Their gait seems comically hurried, but at the slightest rustle, the entire flock freezes instantly, turning to stone. Guinea fowls are the noisy sentinels of the savanna. Their piercing calls alert every creature around to approaching danger. Their role as sentinels extends beyond mere alarms. Guinea fowls are tireless custodians of the savanna, consuming vast quantities of insects and the parasitic ticks that plague large herbivores. This relationship is a perfect example of symbiosis. While the great beasts are cleansed of troublesome parasites, the guinea fowl get an easy and safe meal. They are not just the alarm system, but the sanitation crew of the plains. Sometimes they are the first to spot a leopard in the bush or the approach of an eagle. There, under the shade of scattered acacia trees, the lion establishes its brutal dominance. A predator whose strategy lies not in speed, but in collective strength. The lion is the ultimate expression of collective power among the great cats. Unlike the solitary cheetah, it operates in structured groups, known as prides, ensuring its dominance over vast areas of the savanna. The male's mane, a symbol of majesty, is not just for show but also a protective barrier in violent confrontations. The color and density of a lion's mane are not just a physical shield, but a living resume of its health and strength. This is no mere ornament. It is a crown and a shield, a living testament to a life of conflict and conquest. Its darkness speaks of battles won, of a constitution forged in fire, a silent broadcast of power that is understood by every rival and desired by every lioness. Consequently, lionesses tend to choose mates with darker manes, while other males are hesitant to challenge them. The mane is a visual declaration, speaking volumes about a king's dominance without a single roar. Meanwhile, the more agile females play the central role in hunts, coordinating their attacks with impressive precision. This cooperation is rare in the feline world and makes the lion a strategic and brutal predator. Ambushes often take place at dusk or in the early morning hours, when cooler temperatures favor long chases. The lionesses position themselves in a semicircle, while one moves forward to separate the prey from the herd. This tactic aims to isolate the most vulnerable animal, reducing its chances of escape. The brutality is not limited to their prey. Internal disputes among group members are also frequent, determining the hierarchy of access to food. The social life of the lion, while advantageous for hunting, is also fraught with risk. Dominant males must protect their females and cubs from intruders. The cubs of the previous leader are killed to ensure that only the new bloodline thrives. This act, cruel to human eyes, is a natural strategy that ensures genetic continuation. On the savannah, the lion's roar is an acoustic warning of power. Audible up to 5 miles away, it announces a group's presence and deters intruders. The lion is a balance of strength, cooperation, and social brutality. It represents the collective face of the African wild. While lions impose their power on the plains and wooded savannas elsewhere, amidst the twisted branches of the forest and the rocky outcrops. Another cat employs an opposite strategy. Amidst the branches, a giraffe stands, the silent traveler of the African savanna. Its head reaches 20 feet high to a place no other herbivore can touch. To serve this living watchtower, nature has engineered a miracle. A heart of immense power. A 2-foot-long engine that defies gravity with every beat. It is a masterpiece of plumbing, designed to solve a problem that would kill any other creature. How to nourish a brain that lives in the sky without overwhelming it when it bows to the earth. Its entire circulatory system is a masterpiece of biological engineering designed to serve a unique body. It feeds on leaves from the treetops, where they are fresh and drenched in sunday. In Zambezi National Park, the giraffe feels confident. Their numbers are not large, but each individual looks like a living legend. The dark patches on its body, like leaf patterns, make it nearly invisible among the branches and shadows. Its tongue, long and dexterous, can extend 1.5 feet. It carefully plucks tender shoots from between the sharp thorns of an acacia tree. There is no haste in it. It knows the tree will provide what it needs. The key is patience. Its gait is slow, swaying. It seems to be walking through time. It comes and goes without a sound, as if it were just a part of a dream. On the branch of an old tree, hidden in the dim light of the canopy, is a hunter. The brown snake eagle. Its eyes are sharp as daggers. It knows how to wait. It knows that the movement of the grass can mean more than just a breeze. Feeding on snakes and other reptiles, this predator is not just a hunter, It is balance, a symbol of precision, patience, and the power hidden in silence. And there, a baboon, clever, agile, always busy with something. It climbs the tree trunk with mastery, as if the tree were an extension of itself. In its world, there are no random movements. Every leap, every glance is calculated. The leopard, solitary, silent, and stealthy. It survives not by collective strength, but by the art of concealment and camouflage. The leopard is a predator of contrasts. Extraordinary power in a relatively compact body, combined with absolute discretion. Unlike the lion, it avoids direct confrontations. Its survival depends on its ability to be stealthy and remain undetected. With a coat marked by rosettes that blend with the light filtering through the canopy or the shadows of rocks, the leopard is a master of camouflage. In near total silence, it observes its surroundings, calculating each move with patience and precision. But most impressive is its ability to haul prey much larger than itself up a tree. This demonstrates not only strength but also great skill. The leopard's phenomenal climbing ability, especially when descending, is aided by a special anatomical feature: exceptionally flexible ankle joints. Unlike other big cats, a leopard can rotate its hind ankles nearly 180 degrees. This allows them to grip the tree trunk securely with their hind claws while moving headfirst down, providing superior control and stability. This very adaptation turns the branches into a safe escape route and an impregnable pantry. Unlike other predators, it prefers to take its prize to the treetops. Protected among the sturdy branches, it can eat in safety, far from the covetous eyes of hyenas and lions. More than a hunter, the leopard is a strategist, an example of intelligence and adaptability in the African bush. A solitary life demands constant vigilance. No leopard can count on the support of a pride. Every battle, every meal is the exclusive result of its own skill. Females raise their cubs without assistance, hiding them in dens or dense vegetation. Nevertheless, the mortality rate remains high, mainly due to attacks from other predators. Among the great cats of Africa, the leopard is the most adaptable. It lives everywhere, from open savannas to dense forests and high mountain regions. This flexibility explains its wide distribution across the continent. However, it also brings it into frequent contact with the territories of other predators, forcing it to specialize in avoiding confrontation. Camouflage, silent strength, and strategic intelligence make the leopard a unique hunter. Brutal in its actions, but invisible until the final moment. At the top of a tall tree, above the green majesty of the savannah, a strange council is in session. The birds, like old sages in black cloaks, sit with their heads hunched into their shoulders, observing the world from above. This is the marabou stork. Their bodies seem heavy, almost clumsy. But once they take to the air, you are no longer looking at a terrestrial wanderer, but a lord of the sky. A wingspan of up to 10 feet lifts them, as if the sky itself lends a hand. The marabou stork is a scavenger. Its mission is to clean up the traces of death to sustain life. They do not hunt, they do not chase. They arrive at the end. They are the janitors of the ecosystem. Nature has given them a job that no one else can do. Here, the waters of the Zambezi River, having gathered strength over thousands of miles, confront the abyss. From a height of over 300 feet, the water plummets with an unstoppable force, creating columns of spray that can be heard and seen for tens of miles. The cliff face stretches for nearly 1¼ miles from bank to bank. This is not a narrow channel between rocks. This is an entire curtain of water, encompassing the whole view. When Victoria Falls is in full flood, it seems the planet itself has decided to speak. Here, the river ceases to be water and becomes pure power. It is the sound of a world being torn and remade in the same instant. A liquid thunder that falls not in drops, but in a solid, moving wall of an entire landscape plunging into the abyss. This is the river's end, and its new beginning. Imagine A wall of water almost 1.25 miles long, hurtling down and pushing back clouds of vapor. It is thanks to this mist that the local vegetation, a lush rainforest, survives even during the dry months. But Victoria has other faces. In the dry season, its flow splits into separate streams, and through them one can see the vertical walls of the gorge. On the map of Africa, Victoria Falls sits right on the border of two nations, Zimbabwe and Zambia. Here, the Zambezi River, after a long journey of nearly 1,600 miles, suddenly meets a cliff. Water knows no borders, but man has drawn a line. The right bank is Zambia, the left is Zimbabwe. And from each side, there are unique perspectives on this force of nature. Surrounding the falls is an evergreen rainforest. It exists thanks to the tiny water droplets that hang in the air almost constantly. This is a real rain without rain. The mist created by the falls is not just a beautiful veil, it is the breath of a giant. During the flood season, the spray shoots up to a height of 1,300 feet. It can sometimes be seen even from an airplane, and its noise can be heard from 25 miles away. And this explains the ancient name the local tribes gave the falls, Mosi Oa-Tunya, the smoke that thunders. This perpetual mist also creates a magical and rare natural phenomenon, the lunar rainbow, or moonbow. On the nights of a full moon, the moonlight is bright enough to refract through the suspended water particles, creating a faint, ethereal rainbow in the darkness. It is one of the few places on Earth where visitors can witness this surreal spectacle, a secret dance between the moonlight and the river's power. But the modern name is a recent addition. In 1855, the Scottish missionary and explorer David Livingstone was the first European to reach the cliff and see the abyss open before him. He named it after Queen Victoria. Since then, the falls have been known to the world, but they themselves have not changed. While the leopard caches its prey in trees and reigns alone in the forest shadows, in the more open areas of the savanna, a predator with an opposite behavior emerges. The African wild dog. In contrast to silent isolation, its brutality lies in extreme cooperation, a pack that hunts together with unshakable discipline, speed, and efficiency. The African wild dog, also known as the painted wolf, is one of the most effective predators on the continent. Unlike the solitary leopard or the swift cheetah, its strength lies in supreme cooperation. A pack can consist of more than 20 individuals, each playing a specific role in the hunt. This organization turns the chase into an almost military execution. Constant communication through short calls, physical endurance, and collective strategy make this canid a more successful hunter than many felines. The cooperation of African wild dogs reaches an astonishing level. They even have a form of democratic vote to decide when to begin a hunt. Before the hunt, a strange ritual unfolds. A parliament of sneezes. It is a vote, cast not with hands but with breath. A quiet consensus that builds until a tipping point is reached and the pack moves as one. It is democracy in its most primal and deadliest form. If a high-ranking member sneezes, only a few more sneezes are needed for the pack to depart. But if a lower-ranking member initiates, more consenting sneezes are required. This is a unique testament to social cohesion and collective decision-making in the animal world. Their hunting technique is based on persistence. Unlike the lightning-fast attacks of felines, wild dogs pursue their prey over long distances, exploiting their exhaustion. A gazelle or an antelope can run fast, but it cannot maintain the same stamina. Mile after mile, the pack members take turns leading, forcing the animal to make a mistake. When the victim is out of breath, the group attacks in a coordinated manner, bringing it down with impressive brutality. The efficiency is so high that in some regions, the success rate of their hunts exceeds 70%. The pack's brutality is evident in the collective kill. Unlike felines, which suffocate their prey before eating, wild dogs begin to feed immediately, often while the animal is still alive. Here, there is no ceremony in death. The kill is a starting pistol for a race against thieves. Every second is critical, and the pack's survival depends on a swift, communal, and utterly unsentimental efficiency. The social structure is also remarkable. There is a dominant pair responsible for reproduction, while the others help raise the young. The hierarchy is not based solely on strength, but on cooperation. When the pack returns from a hunt, they regurgitate food for the pups and even for injured or sick members. However, the wild dog's existence faces constant threats. They compete with lions and hyenas for territory and food, and often lose their kills to these more powerful rivals. The African wild dog, therefore, is a unique predator, ruthless in its collective hunts, yet dependent on social bonds rarely seen among carnivores. Brutal and efficient, it represents organized wilderness in its purest form. While wild dogs dominate the savanna with discipline and cooperation, in other areas, an equally ruthless competitor operates based on numbers and opportunity. On the water's surface, on slender dry branches, small figures are lined up. Their bodies are light, their movements almost a dance. These birds seem to be made of morning light. a green back, a slightly rufous chest, and a distinctive white stripe on the forehead from which they get their name, the white-fronted bee-eater. They sit motionless, but it is only an appearance. A second later, one of them soars into the air, executes a deft loop, and returns with a struggling prize in its beak. The diet of these birds consists of bees, wasps, hornets, and other stinging insects. Before swallowing their prey, they skillfully neutralize it by rubbing it against a branch, removing the venom and stinger. This technique is honed to perfection. Bee-eaters live in colonies, sometimes numbering in the hundreds. Their nests are long, horizontal burrows dug into the sandy banks along the river. Amidst the bushes and dry grass, where the thickets glow gold in the morning light, a figure slowly emerges. The African buffalo, massive, as if carved from rock, it walks heavily but calmly. In its eyes is a harshness, in its gait, a confidence. This is not a fugitive, not a hunter. This is the master of the plains. Its horns curve like a crescent moon. Its coat is dark as a rainy night. Not far away, among the thickets, a giraffe stretches. It moves almost silently, as if not walking on the ground, but gliding over it. Its neck reaches the canopy, where other species cannot. It nibbles on fresh leaves with the care of a master. And higher still in the treetops, where only the sky makes its choice, white pelicans have landed. The spotted hyena, often underestimated, displays a brutality of its own, reinforced by the power of its clan and its ability to challenge even the largest predators in Africa. Often dismissed as a mere scavenger, it is, in fact, a formidable hunter, capable of taking down large prey when operating in groups. A powerful body, incredibly strong jaws, and teeth adapted for crushing bone make it an expert at making the most of every carcass. Its bite force is one of the strongest among carnivorous mammals, allowing it to break structures that other predators would leave behind. Nothing is wasted. The spotted hyena's hunting strategy is based on endurance and cooperation. They pursue wildebeest, zebras, and antelopes over long distances, exhausting their prey until it can no longer escape. Contrary to popular belief, they do not solely depend on the leftovers of lions. Often, it is the lions who steal their kills, using their strength to usurp a downed carcass. The social life of the hyena is complex and ruled by a matriarchal system. Females dominate the males and lead the clans, which can number over 80 individuals. The dominance of the female hyena is not just behavioral. It is reinforced by one of the strangest biological traits in the mammalian world. Due to extremely high levels of androgens, male hormones in their bodies, females are larger and more aggressive than males, and possess external genitalia that closely resemble those of a male. This unique trait makes mating and birth incredibly difficult, but it is also the foundation of an absolute female-led social order. An unbreakable power structure in their brutal world. The brutality is not limited to their hunts. Siblings from the same litter may fight to the death in their first days of life, eliminating rivals and strengthening the survivors. Their piercing cry, which resembles laughter, is one of the most recognizable sounds of the savannah. It is not a sign of joy, but a communication code that conveys location, excitement, and even requests for support. A large group of hyenas is capable of challenging lions and even driving them off their own kills, demonstrating the courage and aggression of these animals. The spotted hyena, therefore, is a predator that combines endurance, cooperation, and brutality in every stage of its life. Its image as an opportunist conceals the reality of a strategic, resilient hunter, fundamental to the dynamics of the African savanna. On the crowns of the palm trees, rising high above the Zambezi River Valley, a whole flock of white pelicans has landed. Their large silhouettes look particularly striking against the fan-shaped palm leaves, illuminated by the soft evening light. These palms are likely of the species Hyphaeon petersiana, a palm characteristic of the wetland areas of southern Africa. The pelicans sit solidly and calmly, as if guarding their kingdom from on high. Some are sleeping, their wings spread wide. Others have tucked their beaks into their feathers, preparing for sleep. Trees like these are not just observation posts, but also safe havens from terrestrial predators. On the arid plains, a soft golden light spreads. The sun is no longer as harsh as at midday, but it still generously illuminates the burnt grass, the coppery leaves of the bushes, and the backs of the animals. Amidst the bushes, zebras appear. At first glance, they are just black and white stripes against the ochre earth. But the longer one looks, the more their beauty is revealed. Each zebra has a unique pattern, like its own personal passport. The stripes are not just for decoration. They help with camouflage in the tall grass, confusing predators when they run. And they may even protect against biting insects by reflecting light in a certain spectrum. Individually, each zebra is a target, but together they become a living mirage, a river of black and white that flows across the plains where edges blur and individuals vanish into a single hypnotic whole. It is a secret whispered between them. To survive, one must be willing to disappear. The stripes not only hide the zebra, but they hide it in plain sight, turning the herd into a giant, mesmerizing and elusive optical illusion. The herd of zebras grazes unhurriedly. They nibble on the dry grass, chewing slowly, always listening. Zebras have excellent hearing and sharp vision. While some are eating, others hold their heads high, watching their surroundings. And that is their strength. It is through solidarity that the zebra can survive on the open plains, where danger can lurk from any direction. In the falling dusk, among the trees, a leopard appears. It seems to emerge from the landscape itself. The spots on its skin blend with the foliage, with the fallen leaves, and with the bark of the trees. It does not sneak, nor does it hurry. It simply moves like a ghost, like a part of the forest that has suddenly taken shape and direction. In every corner of wild Africa, the brutality of nature is a non-negotiable law. The cheetah exploits its maximum speed. The lion maintains its collective strength. The leopard dominates with stealth. The wild dog executes organized hunts. The spotted hyena imposes endurance and opportunity. Different strategies, different bodies, but a shared goal: to survive in an environment where mistakes are paid for with one's life. The drama of wildlife is not limited to direct confrontations. The constant competition between species, the pressure for food, the fragility of the young, and the daily struggle against rivals. The atmosphere is always tense, where the victory of one means the inevitable defeat of another. In the land of brutal predators, there is no room for lingering mistakes. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Only those who adapt to the harsh demands of nature can sustain their lineage. In the Arctic and subarctic regions of Alaska, the snowy owl's pure white plumage blends perfectly into the icy landscape, providing the perfect camouflage. Their thick feathers, which even cover their feet, keep them warm even when the temperature drops below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. The snowy owl is a master hunter of the Arctic. Unlike many other owl species, the snowy owl is diurnal, especially during the summer months. This gives them the advantage of continuous hunting in the endless daylight. They glide over the snow, using their keen eyesight to spot the slightest movement. The lemming, a common rodent, is the main food source for these owls. However, the snowy owl is also capable of hunting hares, seabirds, and even young foxes. However, the breeding cycle of the lemming, the snowy owl's main food source, has been severely affected by the changing temperatures and snow conditions. The thawing of the permafrost and the changes in the Arctic vegetation are also significant threats. These challenges have put increasing pressure on the snowy owl populations, making it harder for them to survive in the ever-changing Arctic environment. The beluga whale, a famous cetacean, is also not immune to the impacts of the changes taking place in Alaska. As a marine animal characteristic of the Arctic regions, the beluga is known for its ability to thrive in harsh environments. Often called the white whale due to its distinctive white skin, the beluga is also famous for its wide range of vocalizations, earning it the nickname Canary of the Sea. The beluga follows a unique seasonal migration pattern. In the summer, they move north, gathering in the estuaries and coastal bays of Alaska. When winter comes and the sea ice forms, the belugas migrate south to find open water. Here, they rely on their thick layer of blubber for insulation. They live in small groups. During migration, the group size can be up to hundreds of whales. This grouping allows for more effective hunting. Their diet consists of a variety of species, such as octopus, squid, crabs, shrimp, and fish, like salmon and cod. With the ability to dive up to 3,000 feet and hold their breath for up to 25 minutes, the belugas can hunt in the shallow coastal waters. One of the most important skills of the beluga is echolocation, or the use of sound waves to locate their prey. The belugas are facing an increasingly difficult struggle for survival as climate change causes the ice to melt rapidly, changing their natural habitat. The warmer, less icy waters have forced the belugas to migrate further south in search of food and shelter. In addition, the underwater noise from ships and industrial activities can disrupt the beluga's ability to communicate and echolocate. From the ice flows of the Arctic, the ecosystem gradually transitions to a new landscape, the taiga forest. Here, the long, harsh winters give way to short but vibrant summers. The biting cold of winter, where temperatures often drop below -22 degrees Fahrenheit. This is home to the towering coniferous species like the black and white spruce, which have stood against time and climate. However, climate change is gradually altering the natural balance. The warmer temperatures and longer summers bring an increasing risk of wildfires. Alaska is home to 98% of the U.S. brown bear population. It is also home to 70% of the total brown bear population across North America. Across Alaska, from the majestic mountain ranges to the vast plains, the brown bear dominates the landscape. The male brown bear, which can weigh up to 1,500 pounds, creates a powerful image of strength and vitality in the wild world of Alaska. The brown bear is an omnivore with a varied diet, but in the taiga, their most important food source is salmon. During the peak feeding season, a brown bear can consume up to 90 pounds of food per day. The fat-rich salmon allows them to gain weight quickly and store enough energy to survive the harsh Alaskan winter. As winter approaches, the brown bear enters a state of hibernation, a survival mechanism that helps to conserve energy. However, global warming is drastically changing the brown bear's habitat in the taiga forests of Alaska. The winter, once long and stable, has become shorter, causing the bears to wake up earlier from hibernation, often without enough energy reserves.